Blaise Bernstein was a brilliant student with a promising future, but his life was tragically cut short in an act of brutal violence. Blaise was raised in a supportive and loving environment in Southern California. A brilliant and creative student, he was studying pre-medical at the University of Pennsylvania, aspiring to be a doctor. His personality shone through his passion for the arts, particularly creative writing, and his family and friends described him as compassionate and kind. Blaise, openly gay and proud of his Jewish heritage, was comfortable with his identity and cherished the relationships he had cultivated. During winter break in January 2018, Blaise returned home to spend time with his family. On January 2nd, he left the house to meet Samuel Woodward, a former classmate from Orange County School of the Arts. Blaise's family didn't anticipate anything unusual, but when he didn't return home, they grew increasingly concerned. The search for Blaise Bernstein became a community-wide effort, with local law enforcement, volunteers, and family members combing the area for any sign of him. Investigators traced Blaise's movements to Borrego Park, where he had gone to meet Samuel Woodward. Woodward, the last person known to have seen Blaise, quickly became a person of interest. Woodward initially told police that he and Blaise had met up to hang out, and that Blaise had tried to kiss him. Feeling uncomfortable, Woodward claimed he drove Blaise back to the park and left him there. However, inconsistencies in his story and suspicious behavior raised red flags. Soon after, evidence began to mount against him. On January 9, 2018, Blaise's body was found in a shallow grave near Borrego Park. He had been stabbed repeatedly, and the violent nature of the attack left no doubt that this was a premeditated murder. 3 days after Blaise's body was discovered, Samuel Woodward was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Evidence quickly emerged linking Woodward to the crime. Investigators found Blaise's blood in Woodward's car, and further searching of Woodward's home revealed a knife with Blaise's blood on it. His extreme ideology came to light as investigators examined his phone, laptop, and social media, which exposed his affiliation with Atomwaffen Division, a violent neo-Nazi group. The hate-fueled motivation behind Blaise's murder began to take shape, as authorities discovered Woodward's deep-seated racism, anti-Semitism, and homophobia. It became clear that Blaise was not killed because of a spur-of-the-moment argument, but rather because of his identity as a gay, Jewish man, an identity that Woodward had come to despise through his radicalization. Samuel Woodward's legal proceedings began on February 2, 2018, when he was arraigned and pleaded not guilty to the murder of Blaise Bernstein. As the case progressed, a major turning point came on August 2, 2018, when the Orange County District Attorney added a hate crime enhancement to the charges. This development shifted the narrative from a tragic murder to a premeditated hate crime, with the possibility of life in prison without parole if convicted. In April 2024, the trial commenced, with the prosecution laying out a case built on disturbing evidence. Woodward's connection to the violent neo-Nazi group Atomwaffen Division and his belief system rooted in homophobia and anti-Semitism. The prosecution claimed that Woodward murdered Blaise because of his sexual orientation, a central argument bolstered by evidence found on his phone and social media accounts. Woodward's defense attorney, Ken Morrison, conceded that Woodward had killed Blaise but argued it wasn't premeditated. Instead, they framed it as a case of voluntary manslaughter. According to Woodward's testimony on June 20, 2024, he had smoked marijuana the night of the murder, and Blaise had allegedly made unwanted sexual advances, which provoked him. He claimed he carried a knife routinely, due to his time as a Boy Scout, and stabbed Blaise in a fit of rage. However, this narrative was undermined by the lack of evidence supporting Woodward's claims of provocation or assault. On July 3, 2024, after weeks of testimonies from 23 witnesses, including Blaise's parents, the jury reached a unanimous verdict. Samuel Woodward was found guilty of first-degree murder, with the hate crime enhancement. This verdict confirmed the prosecution's argument that the crime was driven by hatred for Blaise's identity. Following the conviction, Orange County Senior Deputy District Attorney Jennifer Walker stated that Woodward faces life in prison without the possibility of parole, a sentence the prosecution fully supports. Woodward's sentencing is scheduled for October 22, 2024, where he is expected to receive this maximum penalty. The evidence presented at trial painted a clear picture. Samuel Woodward's murder of Blaise Bernstein was not a reaction to personal provocation, but a premeditated act rooted in hate. His affiliation with the neo-Nazi group Atomwaffen and his deep-seated homophobia and anti-Semitism showed that Blaise's identity made him a target. This case shed light on the rising presence of far-right extremist groups like Atomwaffen and the violent acts they encourage. Blaise's murder became symbolic of the dangers posed by hate groups and the urgency of addressing their growing influence. Blaise's death sent shockwaves through the LGBTQ and Jewish communities. Vigils were held nationwide in his honor, and his parents became outspoken advocates against hate and intolerance. The murder brought attention to the broader issue of hate crimes and extremist violence, underscoring the need for stronger laws and greater awareness. In response to the tragedy, Blaise's parents launched the Blaise It Forward movement, which encourages acts of kindness in Blaise's memory. The movement quickly gained traction, with people from all over the world participating in acts of kindness, both big and small, as a tribute to Blaise's spirit of generosity and compassion. A legacy of kindness, the murder of Blaise Bernstein was a heartbreaking example of the destructive power of hate. However, his family's dedication to spreading kindness in his name shows that love and compassion can prevail. Through the Blaise It Forward movement and the ongoing tributes left at Borrego Park, Blaise's memory lives on, not defined by the way his life was taken, but by the light and kindness he brought to the world. In the end, Blaise Bernstein's story serves as a call to action. We must continue to stand against hate, uphold inclusion, and ensure that no more lives are lost to senseless violence fueled by prejudice. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support helps us continue creating and improving our content.